You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's The Biggest Loser After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's The Biggest Loser After Show.
I like it, Steven. Good choice. Welcome, everybody. This is season 15, episode 12 of The Biggest Loser. I'm one of your hosts, Lauren Mendoza, and today joining me is Cortez.
I'm back, people. Yes, I'm back to stay.
You're back. You're back to stay for good. Awesome. So let's get right into that. That's our Olympic themed music, if you don't know already. And so appropriate because today the contestants go to Park City, Utah, to the Oval Training Center.
Yes.
All right, so we start off right away with Dolvet, and he brings out Apolo Ohno, who we all know, right? Yes. Speed skater. And he comes out and basically talks about his journey because, as we know, this is the season of second chances. And so he tells his story about how at 14 years old, he was #1 in the world. A year later, competes at 15 and comes in dead last. Right. And he gave some great advice to the contestants and talks about his father, who said to him, you can either continue and go through the motions, or you can give this a second chance. And that's what he chose to do. And now we all know him as this great Olympian. He has 8 medals.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
That is amazing. Yes.
I mean, what would you do if you met Apolo? Like, if you were the contestants in their position, how do you think you would feel in that situation, meeting him, hearing that story, and being in that environment?
It will be such a motivational moment for me. You know, because I know my goals that I want to get as far as my weight and things of that nature. So it's like to meet someone who did it again, who tried and got up and did it again, dusted stuff off and got up and did it again. That's amazing. That's amazing. I feel like if he can do it, so can I.
Well,
so
it
will be very, very motivational for me.
I think so too. And I like Jay, I think it was Jay, either Jay or David, one of the two, was kind of pointing out that, you know, all of these Olympians, all of them have their own story, and so probably all of them have stories of failure.
Yes.
You know, and we don't see that. We just see them succeed. We see them, you know, on the podiums when they're winning their medals. Right. And that's a story we build in our head. We make them out to be these heroes, and they are, and they're great. But we don't stop and think that they failed just like we did. The difference between maybe us and them is that they kept fighting, or they didn't let that stand in their way. And I think they're motivated by that message.
Everyone has a story.
Everyone has a crazy story.
Yes.
Yeah. So they go in and they work out with Apolo by their side. There's one moment that we all saw where Dolvet challenges, or not really challenges them, but as he's, you know, kind of instructing them on their workout, the next thing he makes them do is burpees. The worst exercise. That is my least favorite. I just, first, I hate the name. It just doesn't even sound good. Yeah, it just doesn't even sound good.
Burpees.
And second, they are hell. They are hell. You know? They are not fun. So, and he says 100. They have to do 100.
100?
Yes. Tanya was like not happy about it. She kind of stood there. I thought she was going to put up a little fight.
Is not happy about none of it.
She's not happy about exercising.
She's like way less and do nothing.
Wouldn't we all?
Yes.
Right? It's the truth. But Rachel is like, when I saw her do burpees, I was like, okay, maybe I'll give burpees another try, because she did them so perfectly. They looked easy. And Apollo's standing right there watching her do it. And she finishes and he's like, that was nothing. Like, that was nothing for this girl. And he gave her some great words. It wasn't necessarily words of wisdom, but kind of a great compliment. He recognized like the athlete in her.
Right.
And he just said, everything starts here. You know, everything starts in your mind.
That's true.
And he's like, you know, turn on your beast mode, never turn it off. Turn on that light and let it go. And it was just great to hear him kind of recognize that she's in that beast mode. She's in that fight mode. She has that motivation turned on. And he's like, keep that, because you keep that, you can do anything.
Right.
And that's the honest to God truth. And I think the difference between these Olympic athletes and the rest of us who are struggling, you know, is that they believe that. They turn on that motivation and they hold on to that, and they use that to keep pushing themselves even when they are struggling. It's
That's
that
true.
belief in your head. It's all in the mind.
I definitely want to see the training that Rachel had when she was in her swimming days. You know, I
Yeah.
definitely want to see how her father trained her, or how her coaches trained her to get to where she is now. Because I think that a lot of her enthusiasm and her efforts comes from the training that she had back then. Because like for me, just to see her winning everything, I'm like, wow. And she's still humble. I said that before. It's like the fact that she's winning everything and she's still humble. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, that's really amazing.
Were you an athlete?
Yes, I was.
You were?
Yes, I did multiple of sports.
Really? Okay, so don't you think, like, I think with Rachel, you can see that once you were an athlete, you
Right.
just want that back.
You're
And I
right.
think when you have a taste of that, you, like, remember those golden days, like golden
Right.
years, and how great you were then, and
Yes.
you just want that back. And that thought alone motivates you. And I
Right.
really see that in her. I see that in a lot of athletes. I think that's kind
Right.
of awesome. Anyways, we move on to, let's see, where do we go from there? So basically, we see them work out with Apollo, which is, I mean, that's kind of amazing in itself. That could have been the trip, and
Yes.
that's like, who
The
gets
end
the
of the
chance
trip,
to do
right.
that? Exactly. So next, we see them go to the rink where they compete in a curling challenge, and they're met by the curling USA team, who kind of tell their own stories of like success and failure and how they got to where they are. So this is their first challenge of tonight's episode, where they basically have 2 heats of 4 people, and then the 2 that win in each heat go on to compete in the final round. The winner of this challenge wins $5,000 cash.
$5,000. Do you know what I can do with $5,000 right now?
I could think of a gazillion things.
Oh, wow, Rachel.
What's the first thing that you think of?
The first thing I think of is paying off debt.
Okay. That's
what I was like,
don't
you know what I
know.
can do with $5,000?
Yeah.
Pay off some things.
Yeah. First thing I think of is like automatically I would like to want to save it, but I probably don't want to. I probably want to go travel.
Yes. Yes.
But whatever.
yeah.
Anyway, so we see them compete, and it's interesting because Jay is purposely not trying because he realizes he's been winning a lot of challenges along with Rachel, and he thinks if he wins this, he's going to have a bigger target on his back.
Which kind of bothers me because,
Yes.
of course, we know the outcome of the show, but it's like that bothers me. It's like you still should want to win regardless. I would want to leave knowing that I won.
Yes.
And knowing that I was the person to beat.
And that's why you won. It wasn't because you beat yourself. It was because you
Exactly.
were so good that
Right.
people wanted you out.
Hello, yes.
I agree. So, yeah, I didn't know what to think when I saw him doing that. When I saw him not really wanting to win, I didn't like it.
I understood the strategy, but it came across as if he was giving up. And
Yeah.
that's the point that got to me. Is like I felt like he was giving up. More so trying to have I guess a set way of trying to run the contest. It didn't work out.
I agree.
It didn't work out.
And it was interesting because then on the sidelines, he kind of didn't want Rachel to win either.
Right.
He's like, Rachel and I have been taking every competition. He wanted to see Chelsea win, which it would be amazing to see Chelsea win, and
Yes, it
she
would have.
deserves it
Yes.
for sure. And actually, Rachel and Bobby won that first heat. David and Chelsea won the second heat. So when the 4 competed, it looked almost like Chelsea really had a chance. She was the first person to get 2 of those curling stones into the red dot. She was the first person there. Rachel had actually missed one, but then at one point when she had gotten 1 in, she goes to get a second one in. In that second throw, she knocks in the one that she missed. And so then it put all 3
3.
in before Chelsea could do it. So then Rachel wins the $5,000. So, I mean, amazing for her because she's such a fighter. And just like you said, I can understand the strategy that Jay had, but I don't believe in it. I just don't think that's how. I don't feel like you should win the ultimate competition because
Right.
you kind of let off a little bit
Yeah.
at some point. Like, I feel like realistically, the whole goal of this journey is to be the best that you can be and to lose that weight and to be healthy. And I think if you have that at the forefront of your mind and that's your priority, you're not gonna throw in the towel.
And I definitely love the fact that Rachel puts she doesn't, during the competition, she never thinks about what someone else is doing. Or if someone else got their pause in the spot, or it's always focused on what I have, my moment, my space, this is what I'm doing. And I'm going to finish it. And she ends up winning. Yeah. That's the good part.
And she can point out that she knows that made the target on her back that much bigger, but she doesn't care. And it's not about dodging the target. It's about winning, and it's about proving it to herself, and it's about always competing at your best, always pushing yourself, whether you win or you lose, whatever you're doing, you're pushing yourself to your best. And she's doing that, and because of it, she's winning. So we get through that challenge. Kind of out of that, we go right into the teams or the contestants working out with Bob. Okay. This is kind of fun. Bob wants it to be a little competitive, but he also wants to emphasize being a team and winning as a team, because in the Olympics, that's what they're doing. Like, we have a USA team, you know, every country has a team. They compete as a team. They support each other as a team. So they do this series of different workouts, like the zigzag sprinting, working with like a weighted bar. But my favorite moment in this particular segment of the show was when they then had to piggyback on each other across the field.
That was funny. Yes.
And you all know exactly what we're talking about. And Marie is like trying with her little short legs to jump onto Bobby's like 6 foot tall back, or that 6 foot who knows what. And she cannot get it. And you just see her legs like kicking, and she's like sliding down, and she's just not quite getting it. And I love that she did this, and she just got up and was like, Bobby, get on my back. And Bobby was like, what? Like, no. And she's like, get on my back. And Bob loved it because Marie she didn't want to lose. And she's going to do what it takes to win. And if that's what it takes, Bobby, get on her back. And she carried him across the field. And I love Bobby because, you know, we know he's gay. He came out and he's like, I've never been so attracted to a woman ever. I can understand that. She's a fighter. I thought that was great.
Speaking of losing, I definitely want Tanya to get to the point where, like, excuse me, after this week, it's not about being at the borderline anymore. Let's push yourself a little bit more and start winning and think about winning, and just stop thinking about just, I definitely want to lose and not gain. Let's think about winning. Let's think about your body fat percentage.
Even in the competitions, although during the curling competition, she was excited when she got something in and she was kind of even with people, but like, she has to want to win. It does seem like she doesn't have that confidence in herself that she can win, so I think she's just trying to not lose. You know? That kind of seems to be her mentality. And, I mean, let's be honest, Cortez, we've been wanting to see that from her from the very beginning.
From the very beginning. I mean, she looks great. She's still losing her weight, but at the same time, it's like, well, Tanya, when will we see more of a fight in you? At this point, I just feel like she's just going. Just to go. And
she's trying to move and move forward and not lose. She just doesn't want to lose, but
at the same time, let's try to win something.
I know. I just don't think she has the confidence yet. Like, she's not there. And I feel like every episode I'm thinking, is this going to be the one where we see some, like, great, amazing weight loss from her? And it hasn't happened yet. 12 episodes in. Fingers crossed.
12 weeks.
Fingers crossed for her.
Wow.
And then after this moment, we do see a very cute moment between Rachel and Delvette. Delvette takes her off to kind of have this heart-to-heart. I was telling Cortez, like, this is basically what the show is based off of these, like, emotional heart-to-heart. They have to make us cry, you know, the audience. They just have to do it. And Delvette just talks to her about her relationship with her father. Like you mentioned, he helped coach her when she was a swimmer, and she talked about being an athlete and how that's where her and her father really had their relationship. And after she quit swimming, that's when her parents divorced. And she kind of connected the two as if the divorce was a result of, you know, her stopping to compete. And it was really sad, but I thought it was so cute because she mentioned what brought their relationship back together was when she told her dad that she was signing up for The Biggest Loser. And he's been doing nothing but sending her motivational messages.
Yes, that's amazing. I was actually kind of happy that she was able to speak to Dorvate about that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they ever. I never really see them have a relationship.
The
before.
two of them,
Yeah, the two of
Dolvett
them.
and
Yeah.
Rachel. I thought that, I agree with you.
Yeah.
It was good to kind of see them have that like
Yes.
bonding moment.
Right. And he even said that. Dorvate was just like, you know, I'm happy that you're in your place right now, and I'm happy that I get to see you in where you are right now.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
Yeah, that was a great little moment between the two of them.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then after that,
the next one was the next one was they had to run up the.
yeah, but before
Bobsled.
that, remember who we saw and we were like, our jaws were dropping?
Toomey looks amazing.
She does look amazing.
She weighed in 180 pounds. She looks amazing.
She looks insane.
And she was trying on her wedding dress, and she's just ready to move on. That's what I like. 'Cause I remember her saying something about, you know, she felt like she was supposed to be fat for the rest of her life and die. No kids, no nothing. Like she was on the mind frame of not having kids, being fat, and die.
Like that was her
it.
destiny.
Yes.
And she kind of accepted it before she came to the ranch.
And she looks amazing in those dresses. She looked
She
great
looks
to
amazing.
me.
Well, you know what? She looked it wasn't just the fact that she lost all this weight, but when you saw her actually working out, she looked strong.
Right.
Like
and
she had
moved faster.
muscle.
Yes. She looks great.
Like she looks in shape.
Yes.
So I'm kind
I
of
was excited.
dying to see what she's going to look like at the finale. She's going to be, she could take that at-home challenge.
Yes.
She could take that prize.
Yes.
Fingers crossed for her. I love her.
'Cause she looks
I'm
great.
happy for her.
Right. Well, I know the next challenge they had was they had to run up their bobsled, actually running, not going down in the sled, but running up the bobsled ramp up to 7,000 elevation altitude.
That sounds high.
That is that is high.
Yeah.
And because the higher you get, the more you lose breath.
Yeah, it's
like,
harder to breathe.
Wow. And
mean-
Rachel comes in first. Rachel and Jay were in it for a minute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rachel had this really great strategy where she had the goal of just staying with Jay. And I
Right.
think she was kind of trying to save her energy, see how she would do,
Right.
so that when she got to the end, and if she kind of stays on Jay's tail, she's probably putting this pressure on him and this stress, which is probably making him burn out a little bit faster.
Right.
So if she just stays with him, then at the end, she could kind of beat him.
Right. She has a great mindset when she's challenging. I said that before because she doesn't think about what someone else's strategy is. She thinks about her own. Because she even says, she was like, well, I look over my shoulder and I see Jay, and I realized that my breathing is getting a little bit, challenging. So let me not focus on either one of those. I'm just thinking about the goal and staying with Jay.
Yeah.
That was it. And I think Jay was like, well, she's 25 yards ahead of me. I wonder if I can catch her. And I think he catches her a little bit, but she ends up taking it off.
Taking it, the second
Rachel,
challenge.
Hats off. And she wins the 1 pound. For that challenge, it was the 1 pound gain advantage. Yes. So Rachel is racking.
She's amazing.
She's racking.
And she doesn't care that this is making her a threat, and that's why I love her.
Yes. And that's why I think why I said that about Jay is because I just feel like he's giving up. He's trying to play
He
more so
does.
the mind frame of the game.
He said in the beginning, I feel like, this could be my week of going home. He said that in the beginning of the episode.
Right. He did.
I feel like Apolo said, it's all in your mind. You start telling yourself that, you're going to move in that direction. And I kind of think he was setting himself up a little bit.
He did. I think he did. But speaking of accomplishments, I definitely want to, if I had a hat on, I would take it off. Take it off to Jen.
Yeah.
She accomplished the box jump.
Yeah. Finally, after 3 hours.
Finally.
Jillian
After 3
said.
hours.
Yes.
And I think every coach got to her. Every coach tried to get her to do the box jump. And
I think you're right.
And Jillian got it for her.
Jillian is so great at breaking people down
Yes.
and rebuilding
Put 'em back
them.
up.
And she finally accomplished it. I do agree that those box jumps are a little bit scary because you think, oh my God, if I just
Not
miss it, I'm
that
going to fall
low.
on my face.
Not that low. That's not high for her to be like.
Well, when you're not used to jumping at all,
Okay.
come on.
Yeah.
Your feet don't lift off the ground, Cortez. And this girl is being challenged to jump. I can see that it's a little bit intimidating because all you have to do is miss it by just that much and you fall. And you could hurt yourself.
There's that chin.
And that's your fear, that's your doubt, and that is what keeps her from doing it. But she finally did it.
But she
It's
finally
exciting.
did it. And after 3 hours, like you said, it was. But those 3 hours caught up to her. Even though she accomplished one thing, they caught up to her because she didn't weigh too well at the weigh-in.
Yep.
And speaking of the weigh-in, I think she didn't lose anything.
No. She just stayed the exact same.
The same exact 189 pounds.
Yeah.
But Bob has this thing where he feels like every time they travel,
the
weigh-ins are always terrible.
Yeah. Plus, I think at a different altitude, I know I've always heard this. I don't understand it. So if anybody out there knows, feel free to weigh in on the YouTube comments.
Yes.
But I don't know, like with altitude, maybe this is my thoughts. I was like, well, what if maybe you retain a little bit more water? Maybe because it's harder to breathe, your body reacts a little bit differently.
I think the
maybe you swell a little bit. I don't know. So we were all kind of expecting what they were teasing from the very beginning to be the worst weigh-in ever. And sure enough, it was. And I honestly, if I was Jen, I mean, everybody does want to lose, but I think knowing that the odds could be kind of against you with this change in altitude, I would be happy that I didn't gain, which unfortunately was what happened to two of the contestants.
Two of the contestants, Jay and Bobby. Jay gains 1 pound. Sucks. That sucks for him. And Bobby gains 2 pounds. And we actually saw that in the preview on last week. We were like, well, who's going to gain the 2 pounds? I actually thought Tanya was going to gain the 2 pounds. But shockingly, Tanya
lost 2 pounds.
2 pounds.
Yeah.
That was great. So great job, Tanya. But there's that borderline thing again, 2 pounds, and she said her goal was not to gain because of the altitude and where they were. Yes, you accomplished that goal, but I was looking for more than 2 pounds. I'm going to be the motivator for Tanya. Tanya, lose more and win. And
want to win and believe that you could do it.
Yes, please do.
Because, I mean, look at Rachel. She is the perfect example. Like we said, she didn't care if she was going to be a bigger target, and she pushed herself, and all she focused on was herself, and she just wanted to compete at her best.
Right.
And that's what she did, and she lost the most weight of everybody. She lost 6 pounds.
Right.
So
wait, who
Rachel.
Rachel, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she did.
So it's if Jay would have not kind of let go a little bit, he could have been above the yellow line if he would just stop worrying about being so strategic. If being strategic means you can't do your best, I don't know what I think about that strategy, and clearly it didn't work out for him.
It did not work out. That's the part that upset me. But if he would have won the challenge, the 1 point gain, he would have.
That's true. You're right.
Would he still be below the yellow line? Being that
I don't know, because him and Jen would have been at the same. I don't know. That's hard because they'd be losing the same percentage of weight loss. So I don't know.
But because Jay and Bobby were the two that gained, they were of course below the yellow line, and of course the team votes.
Jay. Sorry, did I give that away?
Were
you leaving like an were you like pausing and I just like jumped right in? I was like,
no, but everyone votes for, and I think the first 3 people votes for Jay. Of course, everyone goes back to the whole, thinking about the strategy part now. It's like, okay, he's the one to beat, so everyone sends Jay home. One person votes for Bobby.
Which I like that she did that because she really kind of kept her word. We saw her earlier in the episode say, you're going to be safe because I'm not ready to lose my cowboy. And even knowing that he's probably a bigger threat than Bobby just because of his athletic ability, she stuck to that word and voted for Bobby, and it didn't help.
And you could tell that she was genuine. You could tell that she was genuine in doing so because she was crying. So she didn't want to do that. I know she really wanted to vote for Jay to benefit herself, but at the same time, her loyalty as a friend stuck with, And I think that was good for me because she, told, what was his name?
Who?
She told Jay.
Yeah.
She was like, well, I don't want to see my cowboy go home. So that was good for her. I'm glad she did that.
Yeah, and maybe because she knew everybody else would vote for Jay, so she kind of didn't have to. You probably, in that situation, don't want to vote at all.
Right.
To be honest, because if they're both your friends, and Jay said he understood. He was in the same position last week with Tanya and Toomey. Toomey, like you mentioned, was on his team.
Right.
And he voted her off because he was being so strategic. Well, Jay, now the strategy has come up on you. Because you decided not to do your best.
Right.
And because of that, here we are. And it made me feel like he kind of wanted and felt ready to go home. He didn't fight for it at this point.
Who do you want to win?
Who do I want to win?
Yes.
I'd be happy to see Rachel win because she has the most determination. She's kind of building the most confidence. And I love that she's just trying to win. She's not, like you said, not worrying about just getting by like Tanya is, you know, just not wanting to lose. You don't hear any self-doubt in her anymore. And I feel like everybody else still has that to shake. You know, they still have those little bits. David would be an amazing winner. He's somebody that's really positive, and he's similar to Rachel, I think. And he has a lot more weight to lose.
Yes, he does.
So I don't know.
Yes.
I'd be happy to see him there.
I think for me, as much as I love Rachel, I will have to go with Jen. And my reason why is because I think she would, as a person who's into health, I think that she would be someone who is at home, have never been to a gym, and who may be obese or maybe want to lose weight, and they see someone as Jen who thinks down of herself. You know, as Jillian said, she was always the fat mom with the fat kid. She was always looked down upon. I think if she wins, that would make other people who feel like they can't do it to start working out.
But I think whether she wins or loses, I think the people at home that feel that way should look at her as an example. Exactly. They should still see that. So
exactly, but some people are not. They don't. I'm not saying they're retarded. Excuse me. But some people don't think
smart enough.
Some people they won't pick on the fact that she's, you know, she's still motivated. They want to see her as the winner. You're saying. I get that. And you know what? I mean, God, if she won, I'd be just as excited for her. I really love her. So any of these people, I mean, honestly, I really love everybody. As much as I love Tanya, I don't want to see her win because I feel like she's the one that has just not pushed herself. I was going to say that. I don't want to see her win, but I do want to see her push herself for me to feel like, okay, yes, she really wanted to be there.
She deserves it. We want to see Tanya turn her attitude around.
Exactly.
And that will be a win for her.
Turn up, Tanya. Turn up.
Turn it up, and don't turn it off.
Turn up.
Beast mode, Tanya. And
turn up, Tanya. Turn up.
That will be a win because then she will never go back.
Yes.
So, anyways, that is our quick show tonight. I want to thank you guys also for subscribing on iTunes and writing on YouTube. I want to hear what you guys think on YouTube as to who's maybe the Final Four. Chris Wallace, you commented. Jay's out, so you got to make a new Final Four. So thanks for commenting. And we'll see you guys next week. You can follow me on Twitter at LO_VALLES and on Instagram at Lovias.
You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, Cortez G West.
And that wraps it. And we will be here next week.
Yes.
And I hope it's only a 1 hour episode, but we'll find out.
Another 2 hour.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.